Hello, this is Karia again, and I have another video for you today. I am super excited today because I have the first of its kind, for me at least. I got my hands on a pre-release copy of a book, so that's super exciting. So I am super excited. So let's get started. This is by Jasmine Becket-Griffith, and this is called Mermaids. Now, I did a review of her two previous books, her two previous coloring books. Now, she has other books. She's a pretty famous artist, and she has a really interesting style. And there'll be a link up there to her first previous book that I reviewed, and then the other one. But this one is coming out soon, so let's get started. So one of the things I really like about this book is the binding that she does for all of them. It sucks because then I'm going to remove the binding. But it is really nice binding. The two previous copies that I got were also autographed. So this one is autographed. To get your own autographed copy, you can go to her website, Stranger Link, and there'll be a link down below in the description to get your own autographed copy. So that's pretty cool. So this is the book. It comes in with some introductory info. You get this page here. Then there's she has some writing here, which you guys know I did not read. And there is the release date of December 8th, 2017. The retail is $19.99. Amazon pre-order, at the time that I wrote this in, the Amazon pre-order was $15.72. Now, Amazon pre-order can change, but that's around about the Amazon pre-order price. But like I said, if you want to get an autographed copy, you should head over to her website and get an autographed copy. So this is the book. This is the same format as the other ones, where the paper is not really white. It's kind of a light cream. I think this is a little bit lighter than the first book, but around the same color as the second book. And so what it is this is a coloring version of a previous painting that she did, as well as some information on it right here on this side of the page. So that's the way that it works. Now, what I really like about these books is they hold really well to water. So for example, this was done in watercolor pencil. Let me show you. This was done in watercolor pencil. You can see that. And you can see the other side that there's no bleed through. So I have used Daniel Smith ink for previous pages. I have used, and not Daniel Smith inks, Daniel Smith watercolor paper, watercolor paints. Sorry about that. And as well as watercolor pencil. That was Albert Durr watercolor pencil. So that's the way that one is. So show you that. And then there's this here. There you go. So some of this book is a little bit different in the sense that some of the pages are sort of horizontal in this way, which I don't mind. You know, I think that this will be pretty cool if you want to take any pages out and frame them or display them. The horizontal one, as well as having the vertical ones. And as always with her books, there is in the back some previous paintings. There's 6 right here where you can see what she did for the 6 that she did here, as well as right here. Scan this code and it will take you to see the actual paintings, the original paintings that these pages are based on. So that's really cool that she does that. So you get to see not just the few, but all of them. So it's pretty cool that she did this for this. So there's a lot of these are mermaids, so you know there's a lot of cleavage, shall we say. I'm so immature, sorry about that. So there's that. Now hopefully this video, a lot of my videos lately have been getting demonetized, and I talked about that in a previous video. There's not really anything that I or anyone else can do about it. We just have to wait it out and see until Google's computer systems figure it out. But in the meantime, I really appreciate the comments and the support in the previous video about that. So we'll see about that. This video may or may not, you know, Google will decide what to do with this one. Now, I feel like this one is one of the ones that she has in the back. Okay, there was a different koi one right here in the back. I really like the koi pond ones. Is it the same one? No, I think it's a different one. But anyway, but I really like the koi ones. The other thing that I really did, the koi reminded me of that, is what I really liked about this one is if you see, I'm not using it, she has really faint lines for some of them. Now this is for the stuff that's not like a major detail, but for a lot of stuff like a secondary detail, she'll use much fainter lines. And I wish that other people did that. This is probably one of the first books where I've seen that used really extensively and really beautifully. Well, there'll be different levels of darkness and thickness for the lines. So for the main subject will be a much darker, intense line, and then for secondary subjects there'll be a slightly lighter line, and then the lines get even lighter for just the background things. And I really like that, and I think that helps this book to really stand out. So so out of all her books, I think this is probably my favorite out of all her books. I mean, I like the other two as well, but this one is probably my favorite, and I really like the way she did those secondary lines. You can see that here, and she did do that a little bit in the first and second book, but I think it's done much more in this third book. And I really like the different levels, the main subject being much darker and then the secondary details being a little bit lighter, so that you can decide to just go over them if you want to. If you want to do them slightly differently, you can decide to do that. So for the koi fish, I feel like if you decided that you wanted them to be a different kind of fish, you could totally do that. For example, if you wanted the tail to look a little bit different, you could totally do that. So that's part of the reason why I really like that, is that you can de-emphasize the parts in that are less intense or less important to the subject that you want to de-emphasize. So I really appreciate that. Especially, I like the way she did the mermaid thing now. If you want to draw scales, you're going to have to do your own scales, but that should be pretty easy to do. But overall, I really like the artwork in this book, but I also like the way that it's done in the detailing. You can see right here. It's very much a book that's mindful of the fact that this is a coloring book. A lot of times they will just take a painting or a work of art, and they'll just line art it all, and it's very it looks almost haphazard, and it's not as, for me, it's not as enjoyable to color. But for something like this is going to be a lot of fun. And I am super excited about this. I will probably use this, at least one page in here for a future color along. I'm doing a color along with one of her other, with the Halloween book, and at the end of this video I'll show you the progress that I've made so far in that color along. But I wanted to show you this book and see how she has the little description of the subject on here, which I again enjoy. And I'm sorry, this one seems to be going a little bit slower than most of my other reviews, mostly because I really am enjoying the art here, and I'm really enjoying the way the background details are done in a slightly lighter way. I think I've mentioned that like 5 times, probably because I think it brings a lot of pop to the image, and it helps the whole thing come together in a really nice way. So these are the various ones. I'm not sure I have a favorite in this book. Usually I will have like a favorite. I'm not sure I have a favorite. This one I like a little bit because it reminds me a little bit of a geisha type thing. So, and I actually thought like that would be a really cool book for somebody to do, but but there's that. Anyway, so so she seems to have a lot of it's very sort of, there's a lot of it's artistic and abstract, but there's a certain amount of fashion here, and I like the dresses when they come in. I feel like the dresses when they come in are kind of nicely done. Not just in this book, but in her first book. Oh, I love this one. This one I must enjoy. I was really impressed by this. You don't normally see whales from this angle, and in this kind of proportion. So I really enjoyed that. You got your rays. That's the only thing about books that are like that, where you have to kind of turn like this, is that you actually have to turn, but it's not a big deal. At least not for me. I mean, some people might be bothered by it, but I'm really not. So for something like that, I probably wouldn't color it in the way that she has it. I would honestly either do something completely different or just color it in as one solid color. So I like the fact that the way that she's done it, it's enough that it gives you a choice as to how exactly you want to do it. I do enjoy the sea turtles. The sea turtle one is really fun. This is a really fun one. I probably would do this one with either paint or a watercolor pencil. Actually, this book seems to lend itself really well to watercolor pencil. Like I said, for the one that I'm doing watercolor pencil and then going over it with dry colored pencil, and I really enjoy that. And we are almost at the end. That's like some killer whales in the back. Some miniature killer whales. Some symbols on the, is that some sort of I don't know what that's called, but you guys know what it is. I don't know what it's called, but you guys know what it is. It's got your cherubs and your woman in the shell, sort of like a Venus, I guess. And then this one. Now, some of the other books had the pages that were divided into sections of 4. Those are not here, and instead they're replaced by these, which I think you can cut out and use as like bookmarks if you wanted to, or you can just leave it in the book and use them, you know, as is, or turn them into panels or whatever it is you wanted to do. And then I believe this is the last one. Oh, no, there's a few more. Sorry about that. And I believe that this book also does not have, there's information on the 2 previous books which I reviewed. This one also does not have a medium testing page, but you can use either this page in the back or the copyright page in the front, or any of the other pages. So that's one way to do it. But anyway, so this is the book. I'm going to pause right here for a second. I'm going to show you the one that I'm doing for the color along over on Instagram, and I will be right back with that. All right, so this is from the Halloween book. And so what I did here is I did it with watercolor pencil, and then I went back over it with dry Polychromos. So the sections here, I haven't gone over it yet, but the sections over here I have gone over with, I did it with watercolor pencil, and then I went back over some of it with colored pencil, and I used a little bit of opaque white ink. You can see a little bit of the opaque white ink in the close-up. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to do that same thing for the rest of this, is to go back over it. Once I finish it, is to go back over it with watercolor pencil. So that's kind of with the dry colored pencil. That's kind of at the stage where I'm at now. I'm just filling in the various details in the watercolor pencil, and then I'm going to go back over it with the dry color pencil for the dress. That's it. This is for my color along over on Instagram. So that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, especially on Pinterest. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. Are you a bad cat, Bella? Oh, you're such a bad cat. You know what you did this morning? Oh, you're a bad cat. You're not even sorry for what you did, are you? Bad cat.